Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to the Grey Havens. Today we are doing a deck review. It's not a first impression, it's I would say 100th impression of the deck because I've had it in my collection for some time. I have been using this deck and I wanted to give my honest opinion about it after some time of using it, so it's not the first impression, as I said. The deck is called Heavenly Bodies Astrology. Let me show you here. It's by Lily Ashwell. Exactly. And the review will be divided into three sections. There will be sort of an unboxing and some technicals about the deck itself. In the second section, I will talk a little bit about the cards and the booklet, and at the very end, there will be a card flip through. In silence, I will finally stop talking, and the cards will be shown in silence with my wonderful cat modeling, because he had to assist me, so I have already recorded the flip-through part. So anyway, let's jump right into it. There will be timestamps in the descriptions for the parts, so you may skip to whatever you find interesting. So anyway, let's start. This deck actually lacks the card sleeve that it came with. So when you look at the website, I will link the website, the official website, in the description. I'm not affiliated, but when you look at the website, there is this graphic on the box that you do not see here. It's because when the box arrives, it has this protective like a paper sleeve around it, and I don't have the sleeve anymore. The culprit that's responsible for me not having this the sleeve is meowing right now, so he he started playing with it and he basically shredded it into pieces. I don't mind, because I would recycle the sleeve anyway, mostly because I'm not going to declutter this deck. This is the deck that will stay in my collection, so I don't really mind sacrificing the sleeve for the joy of my cats. So anyway, słucham cię. I'm not supposed to record right now. He's trying to get at the very center, but the box is taking up space. Okay, so, and here we go. Okay, I'm sorry for that, but I guess this will be like a constant here during these videos, because they really like to assist me. So anyway, the box is quite large, as you can see. I have a pretty big big hand, so you may have some some scale to compare. And also my cat is like 6 kilos. He's not the smallest one. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry about the interruption, but as you can see, we've got an assistant here. So the price of the deck, let's start with the price of the deck. It's $40 US, a little bit higher than usual, of course. So the deck is on a little bit more expensive side, but to be honest, I would say it's a very good price for what you get. I suppose you may find this deck sometimes cheaper, because the $40 is the price that's directly on Lily's page. I bought it I am in Poland and I bought it. I guess it was a little cheaper, but it was usually mostly because of the change in the currencies between the time I ordered it and when it gets to my place. The price was adjusted for the currency change, so I actually managed to get it for like 30 or 30 something at the very end, but it was just because yeah, just because of the currencies exchange. So anyway, so the box itself, starting with it, is absolutely gorgeous. So it has those more of a like a pastel muted colors. Looks a little bit like how's it called, a scrapbooking, I guess. A little bit reminds me of the scrapbooking technique when you you know, sort of put bits and pieces on the box. Absolutely beautiful. And there is one very so the box has one great feature to it. I will get to that later, but let's get to the let's say unpacking part. So it's closed on, it has a magnetic clasp, which is also quite nice. And when you open the box, first of all, what you see is this gorgeous inside. And that's one thing that I really like about this deck, is the fact that you can see that the author put a lot of her heart into making it. Everything is very well thought through, and you will see that in some later details that we will be discussing. So there is a booklet, of course, and it is a hardcover, beautiful booklet. I will get to it in the second part. And when we get to the cards, we actually have another box inside. So this is this I call it the boxception type of a packaging. So here we have this huge box that holds everything, and the cards themselves are in the smaller box. It also has ribbons. It's absolutely beautiful. So I will also get to it in a moment, but now I want to talk about the big box and about one thing that I really like about it. So as you can see, every detail is basically thought of, but I suppose that you're not going to keep the cards in the mini box, in the large box, and you know, everything on the shelf, because taking out the cards would be quite troublesome. So I think she also thought about it. And one great thing that I was very, very positively surprised about it is the fact that you can actually remove this. And the box inside is also very well made, and you've got the same design inside. So that's something that I will do after I finish recording this, because I'm planning to repurpose this box. I think I will store some crystals in it. I don't have many crystals, so it will perfectly serve its purpose. So anyway, if you are on this more crafty side, if you want to repurpose the box to have some role in your life, not to just, you know, sit it and somewhere on the shelf and collect dust, that's one thing that is a very big plus for me, to be honest. I don't really like to waste anything. Even the insert, I will to be honest, I will give it to my cats to play with before I recycle it. They love the ribbons, they love shredding paper, so they will be absolutely thrilled about that. So And as I said, this deck will not leave my collection. I'm sure of that. So I don't mind discarding some details about it. So anyway, the box itself is simply gorgeous. And now let's move to the booklet and the cards. So I will start with the booklet. First of all, it's a hardcover booklet. I don't know if you can see it. Yes, you can. It also has its own ribbon to mark some pages, and is also prepared in the style like it's also prepared in this like scrapbooking sort of style. So what we have here: people travel to wander at the height of mountains, at the huge waves of the seas, at the long courses of the rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motion of the stars, and yet they pass by themselves without wandering. Saint Augustine, 400. So the booklet, as you can see, is also really well thought of. We've got let's see, we've got the table of contents. I am referring to the booklet actually quite often, I must say. So we have the table of contents quite neatly presented, to be honest. There is of course an introduction, so let me check. There is introduction, so there is some note from the author about her journey and stuff like that. I actually like to see this because you know, every author is putting part of herself or himself into the deck that they're making. So I actually, for me, it's quite a nice touch that they include some words from them and themselves. So we also have about astrology. We also have some kind of an introduction to astrology, which is quite nice because you don't have to be really knowledgeable about astrology in general. Let me center it to start using the deck, and that's another very huge advantage that this deck has, because, for instance, I was not really I knew basically nothing about astrology before. I mean, I knew I'm a Cancer, but I didn't even knew that I am a Cancer Sun. There is more to that. So I started learning. Of course, there are some advices about, you know, working with the deck, how to use it, some card spreads as well. So we've got the single card, 3 cards, and the 4 cards. And of course the descriptions of the cards themselves. So I will quickly pass through and see what this is. The understanding, very simply, the explanation is very short, very simple, but to be honest, it's very on point. There is no irrelevant information here. Here we've got the deck. She also explains the birth chart, how it works, what it shows to us. Here we've got some spreads and the deck itself. So each card has, every card has the first page, which is with the name and the short description of what's on the card. So if for instance we have the card the Sun, there is a short description of the Sun, what it means in astrology. And on the second page of that card are usually the keywords and the omen, which is more of like a divinatory meaning of the card itself. So every card is described in this way. And at the very end, here, yes, we've got the South Node. At the very end, there is some space left for your notes. Like it says aha moments, intuitive hits, and things to remember, not to forget. So you have, there is some space for your own notes, though the paper is on this shiny side, so it is a very high quality paper, though I know it may be a little bit difficult to write on it with a regular pen or pencil. I didn't try to do it because I don't really want to ruin the booklet, but I know from experience that this type of paper is not really the best one to write on. So that's one minor, really minor minus of this booklet. And here we have the end, is the beginning. And at the very, very end, we've got a short biography of Lily. So the booklet is absolutely stunning. And to be honest, I keep the cards like this, with the booklet being on my shelf, generally as a book, standing proudly as a book. And I keep the cards in this smaller box. So now let's take a look at the mini box and the cards themselves. So the smaller box is, I guess, like this standard size of the packaging for cards when they are usually packed this way, right? So let's get for a comparison another astrology themed deck. This is the new addition to my collection. These are the Star Codes Astro Oracles. So they are by default packed like that. So the Heavenly Bodies Astrology box is quite similar in size to the Oracle cards packaging. It also has a ribbon, which is very nice. And of course, the attention to details. As always, I don't know if you can see it well on the camera, but it's a very, all of the parts of the packaging are very, very high quality. And there's also something on the back of the box. If you want, you may pause the video and read it. I'm not going to waste your time. Okay, sorry about the interruption. Now let's get to the cards. So this is the back of the cards. Very soft. I hope you can see it. It's like light blue color. The cards are not meant to be read in reverse. That's why it's not symmetrical. And the images themselves are also very muted, even though there are some, darker cards here, or some cards that could be deemed like more colorful. As you can see, they are still very, very muted. The whole deck is very coherent in style. All of the images were painted by hand with watercolors by Lily. So maybe that's why I like this deck so much, because I really like watercolors. But anyway, as you can see, it's very, very coherent. And the cards are also the cards also have a matte surface, so you cannot see it, but I have a ring light right here in the corner, and they do not reflect the ring light like crazy. So that's something that may be quite important for those of you who have YouTube channels. You don't have to worry about, placing the cards correctly so people can see the image. So they are absolutely gorgeous with that. The other nice surprise is the fact that they shuffle quite well, even though they are matte. So usually when the cards have this matte or battery-like surface, they tend to stick to each other, and sometimes they are not you cannot shuffle them as well as you would like to. So for those cards, they actually slide quite well, so there is no problem with it. Luckily, I have recorded the flip through because I would have to like set the cards again. So anyway, they shuffle quite nicely. I'm really sorry about my cat, but he's going nuts right now. I do have a slight problem with how it's called, bullet shuffling, gun shuffling. You know, this type of, okay, I messed up. With this type of shuffling, not because it cannot be done, because as you can see, it's quite they shuffle quite well this way too, but I have found that they don't want to bounce back when they are bent, because they are a little bit stiffer, on the stiffer side. They're not that you know, bendy, so to speak. So when I try to shuffle the way I just showed, they tend to, you know, bend like this, and they stay like that. I don't really like it. I mean, for some of you this won't be any problem. I sometimes try to like shuffle them with their faces up to unbend them, but to be honest, I found that it's I mean, it's for me like just a minor issue that I don't like my cards to be overbent, so I usually shuffle them like that. Another nice thing for those of you who like your cards to fly, since they are not really sticky, you can pretty easily get one or two flying cards if you ask for them. It's not that difficult to achieve, as you can see. So also that's something to, I know that's something that may be yeah, so I know that's something that may be actually important for some of you, for your convenience of shuffling, so to speak. Okay, I've got the cat on my lap, so, but luckily we are almost at the very end. So anyway, I just wanted to give some thoughts about the deck. So first of all, it's a great deck for anyone who likes to have an astrology themed deck, regardless of, you know, your expertise in the field. As I said earlier, I'm not really knowledgeable about astrology at all. Oh my god. So I'm not knowledgeable about astrology at all, but I have no problems with reading the cards with a small help of the booklet. The cards also have some keywords, so they are actually quite easy to read intuitively. The booklet also is very quite informative, to be honest, even though it's very short and very small, but it has, you know, the most important information. And even Lily talks about it, that she would start learning about astrology and she would get discouraged because of the amount of the information that she had to learn. So she distilled it to the very bare necessities that you need to know, and that worked like a charm for her. So that's actually the approach she has here with this deck, and I would say that this works really wonders. So it's a really nice deck. If you are interested in astrology, I would say this is a must-have, because it's really very well thought, very well made. So this is like this, you know, sort of a fancy, more fancy decks that we all like to have. So anyway, I was very positively surprised with this deck when I bought it. I bought it mostly because I wanted I really resonated with cards, with the graphics. But to be honest, I use it very often, not only because of the graphics that I resonate with, but it's just because this is a really great deck to work with. I usually use it. I use those cards to show me like the base energies for the reading. So that's one one way I work with them, and it's really great for me. So I find myself using this deck a lot. I believe it's one. Yeah, I believe this is the deck that I use most often. The second deck, Oracle deck, I use most often. I believe are the I Ching cards, but this one is the most often used by me. Before we go into the card flip through, I wanted to shuffle and read to you the card description from the booklet. So let's see what we will have here today. I would like to have one card, please. Okay, so we have Mars with move forward and defend self. I've had just one coffee today, so I think I need more. So, okay, let's find Mars. Here we have it. So I want to give you like an example of the reading. So Mars, governing the realm of personal survival and drive, Mars is the most primitive of the planets. This hot-headed force has an eye on the prize disposition. Its energy affects your determination and how you get things done. It's also linked to war, battle, and how you soldier through life towards your goals. As I said, not enough coffee. In mythology, the energy of Mars is embodied by Ares, a lover to Venus's Aphrodite. Ares is a rowdy god, only tamed through dancing, battle, and sex. Similarly, the expression of Mars varies greatly from person to person, but it must be released. The means of release is less important, but the expression itself is vital. If Mars is blocked, aggression turns inward, causing depression or self-destruction. Ideally, the desires of Venus are explored through the will of Mars, as the two work together in perfect synergy. Keywords. Keywords are usually divided into two groups. Energetics, determination, will, courage, personal survival, and experiences, how you actualize your desires, how you get what you want, and self-defense. And hello. And the omen, which is more like a divinatory meaning of the card. Harness your inner soldier and accomplish something today. Chip away at a small, nagging item on your to-do list or begin a longer project. Perhaps you've been swimming with ideas and inspiration, not knowing where to begin. Streamline your attention and take one assertive step toward your dream reality. This energy may also come as a sign to slow down and re-evaluate what it is you're working toward. Have you been soldiering on, unclear of what it is you're fighting for? With tunnel vision, your goal may be a mirage after all. What are your true desires? You have divine support in bringing them to life, but the power is yours to begin. I hope you enjoyed this I don't know what it is. The Song of the Cat People, as performed by Cat Alucard. So anyway, that's I think all I have for you today regarding this short review. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments. There will be the card flip through at the very end, but it will be in total silence. So at this point, I just wanted to thank you all for being with me here. And I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.